I want to welcome all of our new faculty and staff and our new Associated Students President, Tim Ryan. Could all of you stand and be recognized? New faculty and staff. Woo! Welcome, welcome. I hope that your summer has provided you with some quality time with your family and your friends. This keeps us in balance, creating greater capacity to contribute and to handle challenges, to be prepared for what's ahead, including a greater self-awareness of others at a time when our complex world calls for it. As a university and as a team, we have all the best reasons to be prepared. That's why we start by coming together today, on a day like today, ready to grow and to reflect, to change when change is necessary, and to plan together for a new year that will take us to new heights of success. And it's the opportunity for us to commit to something bigger that we can only accomplish as a whole. And I love the quote, "The whole is greater than the sum of its parts." And the whole that I speak of listens to each other and develops our most valuable asset, student success. And when our students succeed inside and outside of the classroom, we have succeeded. Doris Kearns Goodwin, noted presidential historian, weighs in. She believes good leadership requires you to surround yourself with people of diverse perspectives who can disagree with you without the fear of retaliation. I want you to think about Doris Kearns Goodwin and what she said, and maybe imagine her one day this fall at Fresno State. Just think about that with me, okay? Maybe it'll happen. That starts with listening. Our biggest opportunity to succeed, a most valuable tool, and particularly right now. We must listen to what's going on in our world and what that means for us as a place where inclusiveness, free speech, civility, and empathy can thrive. And I believe that these are essential ingredients for the development of our students, the next generation of leaders in the Valley and beyond. Civility requires understanding where the other person is coming from and not being preoccupied by persuading the other to your side. This is authentic respect for one another. The most thoughtful solutions to challenges and tremendous growth can come from this simple step. All voices are heard and listened to with the ear and mind to move beyond any one particular agenda to a result that integrates the best intentions and proposals of each voice. And it is through this integration of perspectives that the greater good for our campus and community will be served. And each of us has a voice that matters at Fresno State. Our monthly conversations on inclusion and equity and our forum on inclusion, respect, and equity scheduled for September 28th and 29th. Don't forget, September 28th, 29th. Please join me. Those are two concrete examples of our commitment to listen. Some of you are going to smile when I mention David Brooks. I know, one more time. David Brooks of the New York Times, who was on campus in May, describes in his book, The Road to Character, a moral bucket list. One that includes what he calls the inner light, a reflection of eulogy virtues not resume virtues. Resume virtues, as you might know, help prepare us for a professional career. Eulogy virtues build personal character. And as educators, Brooks believes that we should be spending as much time with character as with careers. And I agree. He suggests that those with an inner light listen well. They listen well. In the process, they are often caught looking after other people, not thinking about what wonderful work they're doing, but hearing and valuing others for what they're doing. Here at Fresno State, your voices are being heard. The call by our LGBTQ community for the freedom to designate an individual student's name preference was heard, and we've put that into action. Thank you. The call to better support African American students in connecting with their peers and the university was heard and put into action. A first ever retreat, appropriately titled Harambe, which means let's pull together. Perfect title for this retreat. It was held this week, where new and continuing African American students, along with African American faculty, staff, and alumni, could exchange ideas about how to create a greater sense of belonging on our campus. The faculty and staff have been heard and are valued. And here are a couple of examples: a multi-year compensation plan and a more robust professional development program. Since 2013, our funding commitment to salaries, wages, and benefits has increased by $26 million. $26 million. That's our investment in all of you. And it's projected to increase by another $11 million in this coming year alone. That's all investing in our people. And we will continue to hear you, I promise you. And when voices are heard, there is dialogue. That dialogue leads to the discussion of what ifs. And here's one big what if. What if unity across the campus came not only out of crisis, but would also come out of us seeing the opportunity to elevate student success, to elevate every department, to elevate every faculty member and staff, and to elevate our community in which we live. And that's possible right here at Fresno State. When we model how unity can thrive internally here at the university, even with our tremendous diversity and each department's wish list, we open the door for our community to see how unity can work for them, to raise our community's self-image, to help ignite industry clusters to tackle regional issues we face, like air and water, and to create new jobs, many of which will be filled by the 80% of Fresno State graduates who stay right here in our valley and have such a tremendous impact. We are not only a huge economic engine for the region, generating impact that trickles down to each of us, we're an engine for inspiration. Excuse me. The examples of how we are unifying as a university are real. From the day 3 years ago when I came up here and began serving as your president, I've spoken of the power of what happens at a university like this one when academics and athletics rise together. That was a concept 3 years ago. Today, that is a reality. And one example is unfolding right now as we speak. For the first time ever, what would have been another TV campaign to sell tickets for Bulldog football has become a bigger message of how our athletes are student athletes first, who well after the cheers and the tailgates have an impact on our community because of what happens with all of us in the classroom. And we're asking the entire community, not just Bulldog football fans, to buy tickets, not just for game day, but for all the days and the years in the future when these students will play a role in creating wins for our entire region and beyond. And it's all beginning with how the price of a ticket is just the ticket to build our community. So let's take a look at that.
You're driving me down the ramp on game day or across the stage at graduation. Every ticket you buy to a Bulldog game makes possible my scholarship and my chance later on to impact our local economy. 80% of Fresno State graduates stay here to do just that. So buy your tickets, because no matter what the score, our community wins every time.
What do you think? So where did this unity come from? It didn't just happen. Very different departments used to hearing their own formula came to understand the power of unity to accomplish something greater than just what their departments could produce on their own. I want to give credit to Paul Castadio, our Vice President for University Advancement, and her team, and to Jim Barco, our Athletic Director, and his team for setting such a great example for us of unity. Thank you both. And our bold new strategic plan, that didn't just happen just on its own. It was crafted by all of us. Remember all those forums filled with people? It was crafted out of a unity of purpose to set inspirational and aspirational goals. And we are already living the strategic plan's mission, which is to boldly educate and empower our students for success. Those high-impact practices that we're driving together as faculty and staff set an extraordinary path for the development of new leaders and lifelong success. As I mentioned earlier, we're investing with purpose to attract, develop, and retain diverse faculty and staff. 69, and I know many of you are here today, 69 new tenure-track faculty for the fall, the largest cohort in, I believe, 20 years, further evidence that our plan is guiding us in the right direction. What do you think? And I want to acknowledge and thank all of our great deans out there who, with the provost and their department chairs, recruited such a stellar group of faculty to Fresno State. And you're going to hear in a moment the progress that we're making on other strategic plan priorities, improving our physical and technological infrastructure, and growing, developing, fully engaged community partnerships that support our students, faculty, and the university's aim to work as one with the community to create a more vibrant Central Valley. This is our charge as California State University Fresno as we begin our 106th academic year. A charge that has accomplished a great deal in the last year, and the plans for our coming year, they're even bolder. Some recent highlights can travel kind of under the radar, so I'm going to shine some light for you on a couple of them. Provost Lynette Zalesny reports our Richter Center during the 2015-16 academic year alone provided 1,198,000 hours of service to our community. Wonderful. This is our 7th year in a row where we've exceeded 1 million hours, and we're growing every single year. And that's learning by serving at its finest. It's another way that the university and community work as one for something that's bigger than ourselves. And consider the economic impact of those 1 million plus hours in our community. Nearly $34 million that touches others. Vice President Frank Lamas is in a seersucker suit today. He's looking good. Reminds us how empathy and encouragement for others live in many ways on campus. The student cupboard, since opening in November 2014, has seen over 45,000 visits. Remember when we talked about this as an idea? 45,000 visits. In March of 2015, we teamed with the Craig School of Alumni, Craig School Business alumni, Christopher Morse and Ken Whitwer, great guys, to raise over $100,000 to fulfill the food and hygiene needs of our students so that they could focus where they need to focus, which is on success inside and outside the classroom. We're also feeding the hunger of those who need a hand to start and finish strong. We provided over $220 million in financial aid for 2015-16. $220 million, all in support of our students. Isn't that great? Our Recruit Up to 99 Career Internship Fair saw 1,500 students attend, and employer participation increased by 44%. And dreams of a higher education continue to come true at our newly established Dream Outreach and Success Center. Thank you. And remember that pledge to see academics and athletics rise together? Our athletic director, Jim Barco, I know he's up there. He reports a stat that you won't hear on SportsCenter. I know you won't, but you're going to hear it right now. We have set a school record of 105 all-academic Mountain West honorees and another school record of 82 Mountain West Scholar athletes. That tells you of a powerful new game plan at work at Fresno State. And we're winning too. There are familiar stats, including crowning our men's basketball, softball, and baseball teams as Mountain West Conference champions. Yeah. We've hired head coaches for our new wrestling and women's water polo teams. Troy Steiner for wrestling and Natalie Benson for women's water polo, both of whom are Olympians. Yeah. Perfect timing. Our new softball coach, Linda Garza, grew up right here, blocks from Fresno State. She is so impressive. As a young girl, she told me she would attend Fresno State softball games at Margie Wright Diamond, and she'd watch the coaches and the players, and she dreamt of being the head coach of our team. Today, she is the head coach of our team. For the third straight year, we top all Mountain West teams for TV network viewership. And to capitalize on that interest by our fans, We've renovated the Spalding G. Wathen Tennis Center, home, by the way, to our tennis team that touts one of the highest in the nation student athletic GPAs of 3.7. Very impressive. We're completing an update of Warmerdam Field, and we've begun phase 1 of making Bulldog Stadium a world-class venue for a community full of events that unite all of us on one field. The first step toward accomplishments like these gets right back to listening. Across the university, across our community, across the country, among our over 230,000 living alumni, uncovering the opportunities to represent our many constituents and advance the university and the community in sync. At the heart of advancement is not coincidentally what the university advancement team is doing. An important snapshot of our success is our fundraising among donors who get where it is that we want to go and why we want to go there. They wouldn't have given over $20 million this last year if they didn't see it. That's an increase of over 18% from the year before. And here's more good news. Our President's Circle of Excellence, those who are giving $1,000 or more, has increased by nearly 39% in this past year. And growing support at this level says that we are all together doing something right. Congratulations to all of you. And one reason for this, we're listening. Our Alumni Association and development team are reaching out from our region across the U.S. and world to sit down with alumni, to consider how their examples of success can return in kind to campus to inspire students who will follow their example. I've also taken to the road last year and will do so again this year across the Central Valley to have one-on-one and community conversations with alumni and friends who want to know more about what to contribute because they're hearing about or they're getting a sample of what we've been calling BOLD. And before you think that BOLD for a university is expressed simply in programs, initiatives, and accomplishments, consider the people, all of us, behind BOLD who believe in it and don't stop until they see the results. We have a couple of examples here today. People like Professor Antonio Avalos, chair of the Department of Economics, for his work on the Central Valley Export Plan. His powerful work will help to strengthen our Valley economy. Thank you, Antonio. Would you please stand? Great job. Thank you, Antonio. Joy Goto, Fresno State Chemistry Chair, whose groundbreaking research, along with 49 colleagues around the world, is helping us to better understand the role of environmental toxins in ALS and Alzheimer's disease. Two extraordinarily important areas. Thank you, Joy. Please stand. Joy, thank you so much. Debbie Young, our interim director of the Career Development Center, who's transforming the delivery of career services to better equip all of our students for their next stop, including developing a new career and internship fair model concentrating on the 8 industries that hire the most in the Valley. And she initiated the clothing closet to ensure that our students dress for success. Thank you so much, Debbie, and please stand. Thank you, Debbie. And there's Jim Michael, who started at Fresno State in 1989. And he will finish strong as he retires next May, having helped transition our technology organization to become a more outward-facing, service-oriented department that benefits everyone on campus. Thank you, Jim. Please stand. Let's make contagious this calling to be bold in distinction and service by our entire team at Fresno State. And there are times when being bold is a virtue of restraint and quiet wisdom. One example is how our campus police have successfully handled the expected and the unexpected at all hours of the day and night. I want to invite all of our campus police staff members to stand and be recognized. Thank you so much. Right over here. Great job. Thank you. What's ahead for us in the next year? A lot. This summer and continuing through the fall, we're responding to the needs for upgraded physical and technological infrastructure in line with our strategic plan. Deborah Dishon-Astone, our new Vice President for Administration, congratulations. Reports that we're making a total investment, I want you to hear this, a total investment of $86.5 million in upgrades to campus facilities and utilities and for deferred maintenance to improve and sustain the tools that you all need to do your job. And that includes campus safety. And we're so proud of our $30 million electrical infrastructure upgrade, which is about to conclude, and the crown jewel, and I see Dean Whitty here, our new Jordan Agricultural Research Center, the first ever multidiscipline laboratory in the CSU. That was funded by $24 million in non-state donor funds. Started around a campfire. It really did. Our provost and our associate provost, Dennis Neff, will focus this year with the deans, department chairs, and academic senate on redesigning general education, reimagining research and graduate studies, and ways to holistically support our faculty and our staff. The launch of Fresno State Visalia campus in partnership with the College of Sequoias and led by Dean Luis Gonzalez is moving forward. Thank you, Luis, for taking this one on. Very exciting. It's moving forward along with a really important initiative for the future that's called Central Valley Promise. And that's meant to fill the K through 16 pathway from rural and urban areas here in Fresno County with the best prepared students ever. And my thanks to Dean Jim Marshall for his leadership in initiating this promise. Thank you, Jim. Orlando Leon, our Chief Information Officer, 1 year on the job. He has assured us that our university community will have the benefit of greater connectivity to help us better communicate with each other. That's good news. The Discover-E program, and I see Mike Pronovost out there, the Discover-E program in just its third year, remember we talked about this at the very beginning, will serve 10,000 students this year, making Fresno State's mobile initiative one of the largest in the nation. And Zimbra, you all know Zimbra. Here's some good news. Zimbra's gonna be replaced. Zimbra's gonna be replaced with Google's suite of email and calendaring this coming school year. Yeah. Zimbra and I are not good friends. I'm looking forward to ushering Zimbra out. Our compassion for students and their families will continue to be top of mind as Student Affairs rolls out its campus-wide Project Hope in partnership with the United Way Central Valley to help link students to resources that address their basic human needs: physical and mental health, support for their children and their families, and employment needs. Not the least of these initiatives is our plan to build by 2020 a new student union and faculty center to accomplish exactly what the word union implies. It's a 24/7 place for students and faculty to engage, exchange, listen to each other, grow, and find common ground upon which to unite. Just to take a quick peek at what else we see by 2020, looking ahead, 2020, a 6-year graduation rate that is at or near 70%. And when we get there, that will place us in the top 10 to 15% of public universities in the entire nation. We're going to get there. Thank you to everybody working on this. We're going to get there. And a 4-year graduation rate. This is equally important. A 4-year graduation rate that we're going to lift to at or near 50%. That's going to take a lot of hard work, but we can do it. More modern teaching, learning, and housing facilities that break any previous mold of possibilities. And a comprehensive fundraising campaign to help fund this transformation with seed gifts from our alumni that we've been listening to carefully and their friends that are already going to be in place before we launch the public phase of that campaign. And I mentioned this to our new faculty a few days ago. We just got an enormous vote of confidence that we're going to get to where we need to go. The higher education strategy consulting firm, Firetail, has identified a class of 2030. 2030. It consists of a new generation of what they call challenger universities that have an opportunity to become globally renowned in the next 10 to 20 years. They studied 346 institutions all around the world. They looked at each university's balance between short-term and long-term strategies, and they looked at how each institution views the world. California State University, Fresno is one of 20 institutions around the globe in the class of 2030 and has been named a rising star. That's because of all of you. Congratulations. We belong in that class. We know it, and we're going to get there. How can we aim this high? How can we do that? You know the answer after the last 25 or so minutes. It's to listen. We're choosing to seek unity. We're choosing to be inclusive, respecting every voice and hearing what each has to say. We're choosing to put student success first, knowing that if we're true to that, everything that matters will follow. We're choosing to be one with our community, where students learn how service above self is a preferred future for all of our citizens. A place where students contribute to problem solving that builds new industries and increases our quality of life right here in the Valley and beyond. And in the end, it's all possible because we remain determined to do one thing first. We're choosing to listen. And as simple as that can be, in today's world, that's bold. And Fresno State is where bold begins, right here with all of us. Thank you all for what you're doing and what you're going to do this year. I wish each and every one of you the very best for a year beyond our own expectations. Thank you so much.